Hi and welcome to all the racing fans out there joining us for this pre-recorded show. We are recording for the Vaal meeting, which takes place on the classic track, and on the line is Alistair Cohen. Now Alistair, firstly, how are you and what a weekend's racing?
Yeah, Sheldon, all good. Not quite as fresh as you are this morning. Nice to have caught up with you a little earlier on. But this past weekend was absolutely superb. The World Sports Bet in Cape Town met. I was doing a little bit of a recon myself. It was only the fourth Met that I've attended, and easily the best one I've attended. It was blazing hot, but not that matters. Everything that was put together by the team, and very, very, very little to do with me, was out of the top draw. The racing was excellent. I've made my feelings known about the quality of the races. I thought it was a very strong Met considering what there is around. Maybe three names weren't part of it that could have, but all in all, a great Met, a great Cape Flying, and a great race in the Mallorca. So all good. And we lead up to another big weekend, obviously on the half-veld with the Triple Crown, the Volkswagen Triple Tiara getting underway. We're nearly halfway through the season. How's that for a ridiculous stat? And just an aside, although it's academic and it's going to be business as usual regardless, it's the last meeting that Michael de Kock has individually got any runners, because from Friday night at Hollywoodbets Greyville we get the Matthew and Michael de Kock combination coming to the party, which is really exciting. Mike is an unbelievable form. He's only got one runner on this card, but expect some fireworks going forward.
It's amazing. The Crawford team have teamed up together, did a Kock team and a host of combinations, father-son teams, and that everything seems to be coming together and everybody pairing up this day and age.
Yeah, and I think there'll be a few more coming into the force soon as well, from what I hear. So, very exciting, and it's nice just to have a few more names into the mixer.
Right, let's get straight into the action and talking excitement. The work riders will be looking really forward to the first race. Number 8, Laka Prayer, 16-10. Number 4, Halfveld Storm is 22-10. And then we go out 6-1 and better the first. I'm going to hand the baton straight over to you, Alistair, in the first race, and you can give us your thoughts.
Sheldon, don't really have too many thoughts on the first race. It is the opening leg of the bipod. I think the three horses that punters need to run along with here are numbers 3, 4, and 8, probably in an inverted order. I go 8, 4, and 3 as my numbers to work with. Number 8, Like a Prayer, Pelasila Mankawa takes the ride from Tony Peter. Obviously a good draw. Gate 2 around the turn is going to be a very good advantage. They start that 1,200 meters on the classic track on the crown of the turn. She seems to be coming along the right way. The form lines are decidedly average. I hate to say it, but there are no real strong form lines in the race, so I think that's probably going to help her cause, this daughter of Danon Platina. And with a sex allowance in a race of this nature, she should take all the beating. The dangers, number 4, Halfveld Storm, also out of a good draw to Piso Matsuele, Baby and a big team up. They well worth following in these work riders races. In the last 12 months, Tapiso's had 12 rides for Fabian for 3 wins and 5 places, so that's a very high strike rate as far as the top 4 is concerned. I cannot see him missing the top 3. Number 4, Halfveld Stormer, with a bit of luck he could win. And even though number 3, Oklahoma Twisters, are well and truly exposed, made in 20 starts and yet to get the job done, I like to believe that he runs close enough to give him some sort of respect. But it's a race that won't take much winning, but I'll go with the fresher legs and number 8, Like a Prayer, to lead the way in race number 1.
On to race number 2, and when you look at race number 2, we got 2 runners that are even money and 14-10. Starting off with the favorite, She's Everything, around about even money. Certainly going to be a horse that's going to be in the mix of things. How do you rate this, or number 3 rather, She's Everything, how do you rate this individual taking on the 14-10 shot?
Absolute race in 2, Sheldon, and it's by pure process of elimination, because the rest of the field simply does not stack up with any inspiring numbers. When you got 23 start maidens, 11 start maidens, horses that haven't earned a state check, horses who haven't looked like earning a state check, I think it puts it into perspective. I'll go with number 3, She's Everything, over number 4, Instant Attraction. The PA is my suggested bet. I've gone in with both horses in the hope and the expectation of doubling up. She's Everything finished in front of Instant Attraction to the tune of half a length last time on a worked rider's maiden place. Instant Attraction has the benefit of a good draw, whereas She's Everything had that benefit last time. They were outrun by Hearts on Fire, but that was absolutely no surprise. They both come in relatively fit horses, having run 9 days ago. Instant Attraction could be a little bit more interesting over 2,000 metres. This is a half-sister to Un de Trois, who was a very good mile and a half. Well, when I say very good, she won a few times over a mile and a half with Ashley Fortune at Un de Trois. So for Instant Attraction back over this trip for the second time might yield a little bit of a threat for number 3, She's Everything, but also looking at the pedigree of number 3, She's Everything, there's no reason to not believe that she won't appreciate this distance. Box Exact is the way to go. You won't get rich, but it will give you a small kitty, or a little bit of a bigger kitty heading into the Pick 6 and the jackpots. I don't see anything troubling them. 5 Lunar Rainbow comes out of a weak form line from last time and was beaten double figures the 2 starts before that. I don't see her posing too much of a threat. So that's how race number 2 stacks up.
Moving along to race number 3. Now, when we take a look at the betting, there's a quartet of runners from 22 to 10 to 7 to 2, and then we go out to 12 to 1 and better the rest. In this event, number 2, Spy Story, 22 to 10 with number 3, Chariot of Fire, number 7, Page Boy, 5 to 2, so there's not much separating them, and number 9, The Ultimate King, is at 7 to 2. Scratch number 5 and also number 6. So are you in this camp of Spy Story, Chariot of Fire, Page Boy, or The Ultimate King?
I'm in the camp of the 2 lower numbers here, Sheldon. 2 and 3 are the numbers I'm going in with the PA. But in the Pick 6, there's no way I'm going to leave out number 7, Page Boy, and 9, The Ultimate King, which takes me to 4 of the 7 horses who are now carded to line up. Spy Story, let's start with him. 17 start maiden. Cabello Matsanyani takes the ride for St. John Gray. I like it last run to Immediate Edge. Obviously, Immediate Edge held an entry in this race and he won, so therefore he's ineligible to run in this maiden. But he looks like he's coming to some sort of hand and runs to On Target and Lloyd Wright, and even well beaten by Royal Force. I know Royal Force ran no sort of race at the Vaal on Tuesday. There have been signs of love from number 2, Spy Story, and I like to believe that he won't be all that far away. Of the horses in this race, 5 to 2 might be a little bit of a short price for a 17 start maiden, but I think that, you know, he's good value to run into the top 3, if that makes any sense. Number 3, Chariots of Fire, obviously has issues with bleeding, being suspended from action after his last start, but the form lines are seriously strong. Craig Zaki takes a ride for Lucky Udalakis. We know how formidable Lucky is at the Vaal. Last start, Pennsylvania, Karoo Gold came out and won from those form lines, although Karoo Gold obviously won in Abertha. And the penultimate start, which is particularly eye-catching, Heather's Boy, Dance King, Hair Trigger, and the horse who ran last, Zafar, have all come out and won. So that's obviously a very strong form line behind Heather's Boy. So number 3, Chariots of Fire, shouldn't be unfit, and hopefully he doesn't bleed, and he must have some sort of chance. 7, Page Boy, I remember him from the sales. He was a lovely son of Flower Alley. He should appreciate second run after rest and the slight step up in distance. Straight and takes the ride. 7, Page Boy, I wouldn't completely discount. And 9, The Ultimate King, was disappointing first time out. He's a massive son of Vercingetorix. I was at the course when he made his debut. He's a giant. 80 days off the track, might just need another run before we see fireworks from him.
Then moving on to the next event, and just looking at number 8, Flight Light, who's trading at 28 to 10, and this looks to be your banker in the place accumulator. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to the pedigree. I'm an expert when it comes to the merit rating and watching the replays and the form in that. But looking at the pedigree, out of a return flight mare, a son of Gimme the Green Light, and by Pomodora, how's that breeding?
I remember Return Flight. She ran the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. She won the South African Oaks, did Return Flight. She won the Gerald Rosenberg as well. Anton Marcus used to ride her, so I know exactly what you're getting at. No hope over 1,200 meters because Flight Light was just never going to be effective over a sprint distance, but that set her up. And just go and watch her last run very, very closely. She made up stacks of ground. She tiptoed up the inside rail, and she was She looked like she was flying. You might argue that she was going past beaten horses, but I think she hit the line better than anyone on that occasion, and she probably found the right race to get out the maidens here. Deep draw, she's likely to tuck in from that deep draw. There's a bit of pace around as well from these maidens who are going to look to try and steal it. And just on what I saw last time out and the way that she was making up a ton of ground, number 8, Light 28-10 for me is no surprise, judging by the fact that she's had 2 starts and hasn't earned a stake check. Yeah, I'd be taking some 28-10. I'll make her one of the best bets on the card. Craig Zaki takes her out for Sean Tarry. Only horse who could trouble her is number 7, Aurora Green, but you'll remember the mare as well, Franny. She was an out-and-out sprinter, so how's she going to shape up over 1,500 metres? I don't know, the jury would be out on that one, and she's got an equally bad draw. The other exposed horses, or anything else that might have a smidgen of form, probably not quite enough to get carried away by. So number 8, the improvements with her, and I make her a very hard horse to beat. Banker and all exotics.
On to race number 5, and when we take a look at race number 5, the betting indicates that number 2, Rani of Couture, Gavin Larena with Roy Magna. We know when they team up together, they're a formidable combination. And you were chatting about Mike de Kock, Cadazora number 7. Neva Nastili gets the ride on the 4-year-old filly. She's got the 54.5, and obviously with the lower weight on her back at 33-10. DeMarco's Jet, number 5, is at around 7-2, and then Allenby at 11-2. So in this event, Rani of Couture with Gavin Larena, and then we've got the de Kock factor, Cadazora. You were chatting about Matthew and Mike de Kock and the joining of teams here together. How do you summarize this event?
Yeah, it could be a masterstroke from Mike de Kock to put Nevin Nastili on board -2.5 for Mike's last runner in his own right, certainly for now. Very consistent daughter of Quirari. Winning doesn't come easy, but seriously consistent. And by virtue of the apprentice allowance, Caddy Zora is weighted to, well, let's go through all the form. 31st of October, finished behind I Am Regal. Quarter of a length in it, comes in here 2.5 kilos better off, ticking Caddy Zora's box. 12th of November, finished in front of Rosie Lemon, Ideal Future and I Am Regal. She meets Rosie Lemon on identical terms. She was 9 lengths in front, ticking the box there. 28th of November and 3rd to Mount Etna. Rani of Couture finished 2nd, Rosie Lemon finished 6th by virtue of apprentice allowance. She is 7.5 kilos better off with Mount Etna, and she is 6.5 kilos better off with Rani of Couture. So that goes without saying. Again, then on the 12th of December, finished behind Mount Etna. She comes in here 6 kilos better off for 3.25 lengths. So all the form lines and all the weight turnarounds suggest number 7, Caddy Zora, is a very, very hard horse to beat. So that settled. Number 2, Rani of Couture, though, I've got her in my play in the place accumulator. Gavin Larena's on board. I love the last win when beating Hat's Queen. Hat's Queen stacked up as a best bet subsequently. She did not let the team down, and she is just consistent and not one I'm willing to let run loose. So 2 and 7, the only numbers I need in the place accumulator. One horse I would add into the pick 6 is number 4, I Am Regal. Moosey gets a tune out of this daughter of Canford Cliffs, and I'd be a little bit wary not having her in my play. But I'm happy to isolate it to just those horses, Sheldon.
So on to race number 6 we go. We'll catapult into race number 6, and this is, as you were mentioning, the weekend coming up. Time's absolutely flying by. I mean, January's almost behind us. The first Guineas Day, 1st of February, a 71 divided handicap for the fillies and mares. It's over 1,800 meters. And I see you've taken a chance here, and you're going to banker number 5, which is Free in Seattle. At this point in time, the early scratching is number 2. Just having a look at the screen, number 2 is scratched. And you're going with Muzieni and St. John Grey. And we know that combination, when they team up, they're very, very lethal. This horse has run 4th and 2 seconds in a row, knocking hard for that illustrious second victory.
And that's what worries me a little bit as far as having a bet on the nose with number 5, Free in Seattle, is concerned, Sheldon. I mean, she's 2-1. She deserves her place at the top of the boards, and she does stand out, considering she ran with a very progressive key worker last time out and was just beaten when staying on strongly. And then penultimate start when tipped Silver Parasol quite strongly on the show at double-figure odds. But yeah, just again, she doesn't quite get the job done. And from a deep draw, things are not going to be all that ideal. But there's likely to be pace in the race with Sensoria likely to go forward, and that could well set up quite nicely for Free and Seattle to get a nice slot somewhere and settle in running and hopefully get something to aim at. It's a pity number 2 Destiny of Fire is scratched. She would have been the best bet of the century, but sadly she's not here. And I just think the number 5 Free and Seattle's probably come to the right place at the right time. And you're right, where Muzi rides Basinja, and their record in the last 12 months, 20 wins and heaps of places from just 82 runners. And there was another one, obviously, that would be unaccounted for in those stats from Tuesday's racing out at the Vaal. Yeah, she just, from a consistency, from a place accumulator and bar pot point of view, she does set a standard. If she does come undone, you have a hard time figuring out by who. Ancient Wisdom absolutely dotted up last time, but beaten a field of no substance. Lunar Rainbow still a maiden. She runs earlier on in the day. Puramati also won a week maiden. Her post maiden wasn't all that exciting. Number 4 Sensoria, I don't know about her over 1800 meters. Gloria Mundi not weighted to finish in front of Free in Seattle, so I think that settles that argument in the run to Silver Parasol. Angel's Wish, I'd like to see a bit more from her before we can be confident. Great Barrier, Candice has always been keen to try over this distance, but she is obviously limited. Her ratings drop, maybe a play. In fact, I'd say she's got a place chance. Whistledown, Cartagena, hard to get excited by them. So by process of elimination, 5 Free in Seattle sticks out, hard horse to beat.
2 events left, so the guys looking to play the last double on the card, races 7 and 8. Just having a look, number 4, which was one of your fancies of the recent times, Roll with the Punches, a horse that you've really followed in the past. Unfortunately, will be taking no part here. But when you look at this event, I see that you've gone no less than 4 runners, which in itself tells the tale.
And even there, I'm uncomfortable. I mean, Biofarmer's got a horrific draw, and I'm not referring to Biofarmer as a horse that's in the play for me, because he's not. But if he had a better draw, I'd probably put him in, and he's 25-1. So that just shows the wide open nature of the race. Pity number 4, Roll with the Punches, a scratch here, Sheldon. So let's go through them. 3, 6, 8, and 9. A few horses here at a price that I've got in the play. And, number 12, Sutherland is into my place accumulator. Now there is number 5, Danilo Danilovic, 2 horses that I think you've got to consider for pick sixes and jackpots. Number 3, Chieftain, Gavin Larena takes the ride for Johan Janssen van Vuren. Johan's been a bit quiet, but it's a matter of time before he comes to hand. Ran in the sophomore last time behind Chocolate Soldier. Ran into a bit of trouble. Does he win? Absolutely no chance. Does he finish closer? Absolutely yes. I think he's a horse that's still coming to hand, number 3, Chieftain. I'd expect more to come as time goes on, and I think Gavin's engagement is crucial for his chances. So number 3, Chieftain goes, and I think that he's upwardly mobile to an extent. My value in the race, let's just have a look at the price. 14-1 about number 6, Wise Act. I'm probably going to structure a swinger with number 6, Wise Act, and 1 or 2 of the others that I've got in the play. Keratila Kacheri takes her out for Cornet Spies. Pity Trent Mayhew's going to be out for a while. He suffered a fall on the way down to the start on Sunday. Sheldon, Wise Act is more than good enough to beat a field of this nature. If he's at his best, he can give them something to worry about. His rating was once 99. He's down to an 89. Dropped another 3 pounds after his last start. Now, if Roll with the Punches stood his ground and wasn't scratched in this race, Wise Act would come in very, very close to turning that form around. 1 kilo better off for 3 lengths. Didn't have the best of luck last time either, did Wise Act. Probably got exposed a little bit too early. I think he can bounce back and run a nice race, the son of Active Warner. I'm going to anticipate that he's going to run very, very close to the top 3. Then I've got number 8, Edward Rye. He's not a bad horse. Obviously needed his runs back. He looks like he's coming to hand. Number 8, Edward Rye. Draw 1's going to be a massive advantage. And newcomer to the half up, Night Bomb, has got the worst of the draws. That's not ideal. But he's run to company in Cape Town that would absolutely stick out in Joburg. All these horses that come from Cape Town, that sort of BC division class, because there's not much depth in that type of division in Joburg, they just adapt so quickly, and Night Bomb is a case in point. Fitness won't be an issue. The draw is. If he gets luck in running, he's dangerous, number 9, Night Bomber, but it is an open race. You can make a case for most of these.
Well, Alistair, the only certainty in this game is the uncertainty of it, and you got to think outside the box, and that's what us guys, we look for the value. And that also Wise Act at around 14-1. When you think out of the box and you bring Roll with the Punches into it, the 14-1 looks to be tremendous value.
Yeah, that's exactly the case I'm making. I mean, this horse was tried at a reasonable level, and he stepped away from handicaps for a lot of his career as well. And also when he wasn't handicapped, so all might have been a little bit too soon. But now that he's in a racing routine, better run last time, I'm just of the opinion that if he does bounce back and show his best, number 6, Wise Axis is a very interesting runner in the race and definitely the value.
Then we'll move on to the final hurdle, and for the guys looking to get their doubles into the last race, I'm going to hand the baton straight to you because Candice Dawson and Craig Zaki teaming up together with the favourite number 5, and that races in the yellow and the black silks, carries the 60 kilograms, the 3-year-old gelding, and currently at 33-10 ahead of Pacific. So tell us about exactly how this individual's doing.
Doing very nicely. Sheldon is obviously not going to get too much work in between 2 weeks off, but his one workout was better than what it was going into his last run, where he didn't say he was moving dangerously, but he was up with the pace and gave Connections a bit of a thrill, and then I think it was the winner, Nero, who went across him, and that just compromised his momentum, and Lonely as a Cloud just spat out the dummy. So if he doesn't get intimidated, Craig Zaki's of the opinion that he'll run a very big race. He was very quick to call for the ride on the Son of Water Winter, so hopefully he felt and expects something to come from this horse. Yeah, it was a weak maiden that he won in his penultimate start, but I think Candice has now found his happy place. Sprinting is what he's going to do forever, I guess. Yeah, and like I said, if he wasn't intimidated last time, he finishes a lot closer than what he did behind Nera. 33-10, probably a fair price, but there are a lot of horses who come into the play. Number 9, Pacific, there's a form update. He ran on Sunday at Turfentine, did Pacific, and that form update reads 5th, 2 lengths behind Kamati River. He'll be a fit horse. Is that on the weights? He's got enough to finish right alongside, if not in front of Lonely as a Cloud. But what's interesting is that Pacific's rating has actually dropped from a 60 to a 59 on the back of his last run. So will St. John sort of take the hit of half a kilo? We shall see. The backup I've got for number 5, Lonely as a Cloud, is number 1, Smith and Wesson. Not going to lose faith in this horse. I made him the biggest runner last time behind Don't Shoot the Barman. Recommended him as a top 3 choice, just missed out on that. Rating come down another pound, gets the experience handling of Muzieni. He's a player, although he hasn't won in nearly 2 years. So 1 and 5, the 2 horses I'm rowing in with in the place accumulator. Pick 6, I'd include numbers 7 and 9. They'll be the 2 horses I'm putting in. Number 3, Tiger Storm, for me, won a very weak maiden last time out, so I'm not overly carried away with that form, but if you do like him, I wouldn't put you off.
Well, it's certainly been a very busy morning, and there's still a lot to get through the rest of the morning, and obviously racing this morning, pre-recorded. There's racing at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the Poly today. So whenever the guys are watching the show, we're going to go straight to your suggested bet for the day, which is a place accumulator. So you can take it away, Alistair, for all your plenty of supporters out there.
Thanks, Sheldon. PA gets underway at 1 o'clock on this Thursday. Probably overplayed it, to be honest, in the first leg with numbers 3 and 4. She's Everything and Instant Attraction. But we'll take the double up if it arrives. But 2 and 3, Spy Story and Chariots of Fire. But Banker 8, Flight Light, really like her chances at the price. By numbers 2 and 7, Rani of Couture and Caddy Zora. By Banker number 5, Free in Seattle. By 4 horses in the penultimate leg. 3, Chieftain. 6, Wise Act. 8, Edward Ryan. 9, Night Bomber. And then finally 1 and 5, Smith and Wesson and Lonely as a Cloud to wrap up the day.
Well, thank you very much, Alistair, and as is the norm, your input is much appreciated, and after the weekend's racing, all I can say is come February, I can't wait to get down to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth and soak up that atmosphere, and really looking forward to meeting the whole team down there.
Good man, Sheldon. We're looking forward to seeing you, but always great to catch up, and we'll do it again soon. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I'm sure you will.
Thank you very much, Alistair, joining us on the line, giving us his professional opinion, as is the norm. Best of luck to you, the punter, and hopefully the horse does it for you on the track.